Hello,
Hi,
welcome back, guys.
Santosh.
Hello, Santosh.
Okay, so today we are talking about something like passive income. Now, so Darshana, Karan, I'm going to start by asking if nothing was an issue. Okay, this is completely it's your imagination. Nothing is an issue. Dream on and tell me that what is your ideal source of passive income? What is the best way that you would want passive income to come in and you don't have to work, you don't have to do anything, but just ghar baithe baithe there is 2-3 lakhs coming in every
Ah,
month. Yeah.
in such lala situation,
Yes.
maybe I would want to get rental incomes from properties that I may have bought in the entire country, and get
Ah,
some 2-3 lakhs
so
every
like a
month,
zamindar basically.
like a
You.
zamindar. Yeah.
What about you, man?
See, if I get a chance, let's say I inherit a big amount
Mm.
from my parents, okay, or a land, okay, I will build a multi-story building
Mm.
going into 7-8 floors. There are 2-3 apartments
Mm.
there, studio apartments.
Mm.
I'll put entire building on Airbnb.
Wow. You can't take the CIO out of the man no matter what you do. Okay.
But that's La La Land,
That is La La Land. That my question was in La La Land. So fair enough. Okay, now coming out of this La La Land, coming back to reality, I want us to go ahead in the conversation. But before that, just for our viewers, I want to do a quick intro by dispelling a lot of myths and misconceptions that people have around passive income. And once we are done with it, I want to come back to it and do a more detailed discussion on it. From earn 1 lakh a week from home to get rich while you sleep. The internet is flooded with these kind of promises that would even make a genie blush. But here's the spoiler. Passive income isn't really passive. In fact, it is anything but. In this short piece, I'm going to break down all the myths and misconceptions that people have when it comes to passive income. Let's kick things off by exploring the fascinating types of passive income. We have the usual suspects: rental income, dividend income from investments, and of course, the trendy digital duo, online courses, and affiliate marketing. Now, these sound like the holy grail of finance, don't they? But when you start dreaming of money raining down from the heavens, I'm here to sprinkle a little bit of dose of reality. First up, rental income. You might think owning property means sitting back while the rent checks magically appear in your mailbox. But what's the reality? To begin with, capital. Acquiring a rental property often requires substantial down payment, which could be 20 to 25% of the property's value. This means securing financing, to see what your credit score is like and your income, and all of these things come under scrutiny. Add to this the fact that you need to find the right property to begin with. This involves researching neighborhoods, comparing prices, analyzing potential rental income versus expenses, and so on and so forth. But it doesn't stop there. Once you purchase the property, renovations, upgrades, these are all usually necessary to make it even attractive for tenants to come in. The next issue are the tenants themselves. You'll need to run background checks, verify employment, assess credit histories, and find reliable tenants, or at least pay for someone to do all of these things. And even when the best tenants come in, you're looking at an ongoing maintenance bill. From leaky faucets to broken appliances to addressing the most significant issues like roofing, plumbing, and being a landlord is a hands on job. And let's not forget the occasional late night emergency calls and sometimes even the inevitable eviction process. By now, the rental doesn't really sound all that promising, does it? Let's get to the second one, the crowd favorite: passive income via dividend income from investment portfolios. Investing in dividend paying stocks sounds like the epitome of passive investment. But just buy some shares and watch the money roll in. But here's the plot twist: building a portfolio that yields substantial dividends requires not just capital, but also a keen eye for market trends, rigorous analysis of company performance, and constant portfolio management. This involves analyzing companies' financial health, payout ratios, earning stability, growth prospects, and you name it. Additionally, you'll need to diversify your holdings to spread the risk across different sectors. Ongoing management is also vital. Reinvesting the dividend, balancing your portfolio, staying ahead of what market trends are happening, and of course, the company news to make informed decisions. It's less easy money and more a financial detective work. And if you can even afford to hire this financial detective work, you're still left with inevitable lacks in dividend returns. Well, this finally brings us to the digital gurus on offer. Creating online courses and affiliate marketing that make you money while you sleep. Sure, you can earn while you sleep, but only after you have put in the sleepless nights to creating the high quality content in the first place. This even applies to the fake gurus who are only out to scam you. After all, even scams require a whole lot of planning, ideation, scripting, filming, so on, you name it. It's a full blown production. And as far as the affiliate marketing is concerned, well, the math is pretty simple on that. If you can make hundreds of thousands by selling products, that means you already have to put in the effort to get those people to consume your content in the first place. That's because if you can't attract thousands, you can't even sell it to them. So, yeah, while passive income can be a powerful part of your financial strategy, it's not a magic wand. It takes an active investment of time, money, energy, and skill to turn those opportunities into reliable income streams. But if you're willing to put those in, then what is the step by step way to create a passive income stream that is in a manner that is both scientific and practical? Well, that's exactly what we are going to discuss in this week with our resident expert. Check it out.
So, Karan, I have this discussion very often with my husband as to, should we really have some secondary income? And I am of the view that, maybe we should leave the money in the market so that, it multiplies. So, what is the right way to think about this passive income?
See, what do you think? Okay, what is your definition of secondary income?
Having,
Another
source of income, getting it regularly, apart from your salaries or the business income that you have.
See, in real world, it is practically at a young age, 25, 30, 35, if you're building your wealth yourselves, you are not a beneficiary of a big inheritance, or you have not won a big lottery, or you have not created a unicorn, it's impossible to get a secondary income. What you are doing when people talk about the secondary income, they are sacrificing future wealth for some present cash flow.
So, can you just break that down for the viewers?
See,
what does that mean?
Thing is, let's talk about her family. Okay, so the monthly cash flow, monthly income would be roughly around, I'm just making an estimate, would be let's say around 3 lakh rupees. Okay, their expenses, I'm pretty sure, would be way less than that. Would be monthly side would be standing at around 2. Okay, they are already saving 1 lakh every month. Let's say you invest in some instrument, or you sell you're doing some liquidation every month and getting some money out of there. This is additional money that you're getting. Anyway, you are gonna invest it back. You don't need this money. Your expenses still your expenses still way less than your regular income. So what do you do with secondary income? When you do that liquidation, you pay taxes on that, you pay transaction cost, and you are disturbing the overall compounding process.
So would it be right to say, from what you're actually mentioning here, if you already have a regular source of income, which is already on the higher side compared to your monthly expenses, then having a secondary source of income is pretty illogical.
It's pretty illogical. There is no practical use for that income flow, that money flow, that inflow that you are looking at. Okay, I am not discounting.
So sorry to cut you here.
Yeah.
By secondary income, I would mean, if I start something, a small business, maybe, for example, to get a secondary income. So that would scale very slowly because, that is getting my limited attention.
Yeah.
So I would want it to grow substantially, as I retire. So when I retire, I should be able to take care of that business, and that business should be able to give me good amount of money. So I think that is what I mean by secondary income, and not just getting some money.
Thing is, I'm getting into that. I'm touching that aspect as well.
Okay.
See, secondary income, I appreciate effort towards secondary income if it is a paper money.
What is paper money?
So paper money means you have the potential to generate a secondary income, but you have chosen not to generate it. Okay. So you have a corpus which can give 1% return. It will be covering nearly 20-30% of your expenses. But as you don't need that money, you are just letting it grow. Okay. Possibility of a secondary income or a potential of a secondary income is kind of a unemployment insurance that you have. Okay. Let's say you want to start a business 10 years down the line or 15 years down the line. You are looking for early retirement or there is some sort of a job crisis. Okay. So this, the higher the secondary income is, more the cushion you would have. So if you cash that secondary income those secondary income potentials, when you actually don't need them, what you are doing, you are cutting future potential. Your secondary income would die down significantly, would reduce significantly in future when you actually need it.
So in essence, if you have a regular source of income which is taking care of your expenses, you should focus on accumulating wealth, which will probably get you the same level of income or even higher, but don't necessarily cash out at this stage.
Let me give you an example.
Okay.
To understand. So let's say a person is 25-year-old and he's just done completed his MBA. The person has joined. Income is, let's say, 50,000 rupees a month. Okay. Till 40 years, he will get 12% increment on an average.
Right.
Okay. Which is quite decent. Okay. And now the person decides that I will put 40%, I will save 40% of my monthly income every month, and I will invest in, let's say, diversified portfolio, mutual funds and stocks. Okay. This process would be followed. Okay. If we choose to generate secondary income at age of 30, he would be covering 30% of his expenses. Okay. 50% of his expenses, right? Nearly 50% of that expenses. If we choose to again generate income at the age of 35, he would be covering nearly I would say 80% of his expenses. Okay.
At that point in time.
At that point in time. If we choose to do it at age of 40, he would be covering 100% of expenses. More than that, 125.
This is because of the appreciation of his
Compounding.
corpus.
125% of expenses. Now look at the impact. So you are at age 40. You are generating every month an income that is 125% of your expenses. Okay. So basically 25% is going back into the corpus. Okay. So corpus would keep increasing. Corpus would not reduce because 25 you are putting something back there. Okay. Every month additional. So corpus would increase. It will give you inflation benefit as well, and increasing corpus going forward. So that's the impact of compounding. Had he taken out money at the age of 30, okay, this corpus would have become a reducing corpus. Okay. By age of 45. Okay. He would have exhausted it by age of 50. So in case of any job loss and anything, that corpus would not suffice him for life. But here at age of 40, he has created kind of an unemployment insurance. That corpus would allow him to sustain his lifestyle throughout his life. That's the magic of 15 years of compounding.
So that's why even at the age of 40, if that same person decides to start a business and he has or she has to give, like, say, 5 years of not working in a regular job and having a salary, that particular corpus would now be able to generate the income. And then taking the income at that stage is what you've been doing it for, and not creating that income at 30.
The problem with the premature secondary income concept, when you take out when you are in hurry to generate something for yourself and do it, is that you have to cut down on your living standard. You cannot expect your kid to go to a good school. Okay. You cannot expect international trips.
Yeah.
Okay. You cannot expect that when you're working, the kind of living standard you enjoy, you would be enjoying that living standard with that particular secondary income.
Right.
But if you complete the compounding process, yes, there is a probability that you might be able to sustain.
So the first step in understanding passive income would be to say that if you decide to want passive income, the first question you should ask yourself is, why do I need it, and when do I
When
need
do
it?
you need it?
When do I
And
need
you
it?
should ensure that your savings rate is high enough
Mm.
to ensure that when you need it, it's covering nearly 100 to 125% of your regular needs, regular
Right.
expenses. Because you are saying that you need it for 5 years. Entrepreneurial ventures might take 10, 15 years. Maybe when you want to return to the job market, things might not be that would not be that good.
Right.
Once you're out of job market, a lot of things change.
Right.
Okay, so this is how passive income should be looked at.
But there is one caveat, right? Like, suppose you're talking about real estate, right? Is real estate one exception to this rule?
See, if there are some accidental ways of generating secondary income as well, but those are pure accidental.
Okay.
So let's say you are living in Bangalore and you have worked here for 10 years, you build a house and everything, okay. Now you have to move to New York, okay. Definitely it will come with some perks, pay rise and all, that will take care of increased rent in New York and everything, okay. Now the Bangalore house is empty, it's of no use, okay. So you have put it on rent and generate some 3% rental yield. Some additional income is coming. That's pure additional income. It is not impacting compounding process.
Yeah.
If you see, it's not impacting the compounding process. It's pure income that is adding to your regular income stream. Okay.
Right.
Pure investment perspective generating the current income, secondary income.
That requires too much of an outgo, and
That is 3% yield.
Hmm.
It's practically wealth destruction. Similarly, when you invest in stocks, there are dividends payout. The dividend payout typically don't impact your compounding process, time compounding process, because in most of the cases, like stocks like Infosys, ITC, or Coal India, their price are already just adjusted for their.
So that is the
dividends.
key, isn't it? Like, so the passive income, if you already have a regular income, then generating any passive income which does not affect your compounding, that kind of passive income is an acceptable source.
Accidental passive income.
Okay.
Accidental passive income is fine. It's additional. So dividends are additional.
Right.
Okay. If you're investing for dividends, that's horrible. At the
Right.
age of 25, 30, if you're investing for dividend, you should be investing for price appreciation
Yeah.
or
But
compounding.
if your dad or your grandfather already has, like, 5,000
Let's
shares of
say-
Infosys
let's
or
say,
something like that.
Let's say,
Yeah.
like Nestle stock price was around 200
Yeah.
20 years back. Okay. It used to have dividend yield of again 4%. Okay. Today stock price around 20,000. 100 times increase. So basically dividend is now 800. So if somebody has bought a share of 200 in those days, right now the dividend would be 800. So it's a massive
Jump.
income. But
Yeah.
that took time.
Right.
Compounding was the main reason behind it.
Correct. Correct.
Income was not main reason behind it.
So this is great in theory. Now, just from an understanding point of view, I want to break this down with an example to see in practical terms how can this be achieved. So I'm going to take a representative demographic here. Okay, now assume that you have a couple in their early to mid 30s, 3-4 year old kid who is about to start proper school. They maybe have about 65-68 lakhs of home loan that they are currently paying, and maybe they have 6-7 lakhs in car loan also outstanding, and their collective household income would say be 50-55 lakhs a year. So if this couple should, if they want to think about passive investment, right, what is the way that they should structure this thought process, and how do they go about step by step achieving something like this?
See, the first step is to understand your expenses. Okay. So your expenses right now is you have 2 EMIs. Okay. So one is around 14,000 for car, 7 year. Basically, I've taken the 5 year horizon.
Right.
Okay. For house, I've taken the 10 year horizon with the loan. 68 lakh is outstanding. So roughly around it will come down to yearly outgo of around 10 lakhs. 10 lakh rupees. So 74,000 there. Okay. So these are your liabilities. Then you have a kid who has to go to a school. So they would be, let's say, 30,000 a month and decent. For a decent school, and it will be 10% inflation.
Yeah.
Okay, that would be there. Then you have other expenses. So these are the three heads where you can't do much.
Correct.
Okay. So expenses is the only head where you can
The
use-
miscellaneous expense.
Yes, you can, where you have some leeway controlling them. So typically you have to decide the savings. Ideally, the expenses after leaving out these things should be 30 to 40% of the
Okay.
income.
Hmm.
Okay. Depending on when you want to retire, it can be 30. Depending on when you want to, if you are able to delay the retirement, it can basically, if you want to retire early, it should be 40, 45.
Correct.
Okay. If you are ready to wait till 50, let's say, it should be around 30, 35.
35.
It would also suffice. Okay. Second is, what is the ideal time to retire?
Right.
You cannot say that you are sitting at 33, you have a kid, you have EMIs, and I want to retire at 38. Typically, at the time of retirement, when you are pursuing the retirement, by that time your EMIs should be all paid off.
Correct.
Okay. Second thing is
Basically,
typical-
no debt at that point in time.
no that at that point. Second thing is that it's not these days it's not possible. Earlier it was possible because people used to marry early and have kids early. These days typically on an average people have kids around 35, 36. But generally schooling of kids should be completed.
By the
At
time
least
you
schooling.
retire.
By the time you retire, schooling of kids should be completed, and you should be in a position to put a basically sideline outlay that is dedicated towards the other liabilities like bachelor's degree, master's degree, post graduation, then marriage. And
There
all.
is some corpus.
Some
kept-
corpus is there
kept for that.
kept aside just for those purposes. So day to day liability is done mostly. So these are the two aspects that need to be looked into. Like you talked about a couple which is in early to mid 30s. So I'm taking the 33 as the
Right.
age for the couple. So their income, if there is around 50, after taxation and other basic expenditure like insurance, it should be around 36. So it would be
Right.
3 lakh a month. Okay. In 12 years, their income would balloon to family income, yearly family income
Right.
should balloon to around 1.25 crore.
Yeah.
Okay. If you look at the increment of around 12%, 33 to 45 is the best working age.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that they should be able to earn 12% in that area. Okay.
Annually, you mean?
Annually, yeah. So by that time, your home loan would be paid off. Okay, 10 years are there. Home loan would be paid off. Your car loan would be paid off. Your 12 years of 15 years of education is there for the kid. 12 years would have passed.
Right.
Okay. So by that time, if you are saving at the rate of 30%, if you're doing the expenditure at the 30% of the income and you're maintaining the same ratio throughout, your corpus would be around 6 to 7 crore.
Right.
Okay. If it is 35, it would be 8. If it is 40, it would be 9. These numbers are very important now. Okay.
This, when you say 35 and 40, you're talking about the savings percentage.
Savings percentage.
Right.
Not saving percentage, expenditure percentage.
Expenditure.
How much of salary you are spending? If you are
Okay.
spending, if you are spending 30 and 40, if you are spending 35 or 40, basically if you are spending 40, your corpus would be 7. If you are spending 35%, it would be your 8 crore. And if you are spending 30%, it would be 9 crore.
Got it.
Okay. Thing is, if you start taking out, let's say it's practically impossible to retire with a corpus of 7. Okay. Because you have to keep something aside for kids. 5 crore have to be there. Okay. 4 or 5
crores?
4 or 5 crore have
Where
to
are
be
they
there.
going, man?
People these days want to send their kids to Harvard and all. Right now, even today, people keep around 2 crore for a kid.
Yeah, two, I get it.
But by
Yeah.
that time, it would be 4.
Okay.
We are talking about 10 years down the line, 10,
Right.
12 years down the line. So it's a reasonable estimate. That would be 4. 1 crore, let's say you keep for your own stuff, like you buy a new car, luxury car and everything. So you are left with quite a small corpus. And if you take out whatever your expenditures are, the ratio of your income, the corpus would not last till 55.
Okay.
Actually.
Okay.
If you make it 9, if you let's say make it 9 and 9, then the corpus would be able to easily take care of your nearly 125% of expenditures. So basically, you will be putting everything back. So you will survive.
Right.
Okay. If you delay your retirement till 48, let's say, then you will be in commanding position.
Right.
Then you would be in really commanding position. Your corpus
So
will
this
actually
is
grow very
actually
fast.
a very realistic estimate that you're giving for somebody who is 33 today,
Yes.
with all the practical realities that one will have, be it a house, be it a car, be it a
Yeah.
child's education, and so on and so forth. Still, by the time or before they are 50, it is practically doable.
Yeah.
Where you're in a position to not just get a passive income and retire early, but also put something back.
You have to also understand one thing very clearly.
Uh-huh.
See, as you grow old, okay, whatever you are adding, the amount that you are adding to your corpus increase substantially.
Yeah, because
So
your
when you are-
income is higher.
When you are 45, your corpus is already, let's say, 9 crore. Okay. So even if it grows at 10%, with
That's
marginal
quite a-
contribution, it will add 1 crore every
Okay.
year.
Got it.
Okay. So every year matters.
Right. Right.
So your retirement would be
That's the whole beauty of
Yes.
compounding, right?
That's so savings rate matters a lot.
Hmm.
It will make corpus would be very different. Okay, corpus size would be very different if you make adjustments there. Then every year that you delay your retirement would have a deep impact on your income, post-retirement income.
Okay. But then what you do from the age of 50 to about 90, that's a whole other question altogether. But but yeah. But yeah, that is
Well,
actually
125% of income is actually good. You can go to different places. People these days, basically people post-retirement, in our time, basically just 20 years back, if you go, most of people post-retirement used to spend time at home and waiting for grandkids and everything.
Yeah.
These days, people enjoy their life. They start living
yeah.
after.
Exactly.
Retirement.
As it
After
should be,
retirement.
man. I mean, if you have
going
spent
on
25,
world
30
tour,
years,
seeing the world,
Yeah.
buying farmhouses, investing with their friends in farmhouses, and
Yeah.
it's a whole new world has opened.
Yeah.
You know.
Sounds good, Darshan.
Yeah.
Okay. And for all you folks, if you're really interested in knowing what would be the ideal thing for you guys in this kind of context, we have a free Excel template that we have broken it down. And you can download it from the link in the description, and you can add your variables and actually see how this kind of a example might play out really in your life. So thanks a lot, guys. I mean, this was genuinely a great discussion, and I hope to kind of do more of such kind of things very soon. Yeah.
Pleasure to be here, Santosh.
Yeah.